Hello everyone, I'm back with another Reddit Addicts episode. If you find my videos entertaining, please kindly subscribe and like them. Thanks to everyone for your suggestions and kind notes. Now, let's get started with today's exciting stories.
I feel like my fiance cheated on me. She says I'm being dramatic. Mostly hoping someone can be a third view on this situation. My 30M fiance, 27F, has a male friend of 10 years or so. He lives in her hometown a state over from us. First time I heard of him was a few months back cause they were messaging on Messenger, and he was sending her money for stuff like gas cause she was working less hours. She wouldn't tell me his name, just he was an old friend etc. I told her I didn't like him sending her money. Felt it was inappropriate considering I was more than capable of helping her if she needed money. She claimed she doesn't like asking partners for money, and his name was a secret cause she didn't want me looking him up and messaging him, supposedly cause her exes would do it. Time goes on and pieces start clicking together. She told me his name and I realized I'd seen her message him repeatedly long before I found out about the money. But her convos were always new. This led to a discussion where she admitted to always deleting their conversations. It originated as a BS excuse that she deletes everyone's convos. Till I pressed that she was lying and it was only hers. Eventually she admitted to only deleting his because she didn't want me to take their convos out of context if I ever saw them cause they could look like flirting. Over the next few weeks there was more deletion of their convos, despite our convo about no more deleting or hiding things. He sent her more money. Then one morning while getting ready for bed, I work 3 RDS and just got him. Her phone went off and lit up with a message from him saying, "Good morning, sweetheart." I obviously confronted her, upset. She claims that's the only time he ever said something like that and was so confused. But that it's not a big deal because older people call everyone that, he's mid-30s. My frustration over this led to her supposedly blocking him and using that as her way to ending the talk. I did not tell her to block him. She chose to. A couple months or so later I asked about him and she said she unblocked him a couple weeks prior to check on him or something cause of a car accident and then reblocked him. That was left at that. Till literally like 3 days later as I'm getting ready to go to work, the situation repeats itself. Phone dings, lights up, he's messaged her saying, "Good night, sweetheart, I've been thinking about you today." Again I confront her. She admits to lying about reblocking him. And again. So surprised he's calling her sweetheart. This time the talk turns into an argument that's more hard-pressed. She admits he flirts with her and calls her pet names. That she still deletes their convos after she's done or after every message when she's by me. She'd been talking while at work etc. My thought process was I feel like it's emotional cheating. It's established it's inappropriate for me to call other girls sweetheart or something similar. ESP wrong to flirt cause those things are reserved for her and myself. So for her to intentionally and willingly allow her friend to do it on a daily basis makes her no better than if she were doing it herself. I pointed out it's not like it's a random guy hollering at her or something. It's a friend who she repeatedly chooses to engage with and not bother to tell to stop due to it being inappropriate. She says I'm wrong and ridiculous. He's been her friend for 10 years. Lives 6 hours away so there's nothing wrong with it. She didn't flirt, supposedly, or screw him so it's not a big deal. The lies and hiding it is just cause she's used to her exes getting upset over little things and she didn't want me to be like them. If I saw it. Am I really overthinking this or is it fair to feel how I do? Thanks everyone. Edit, thanks for all the responses everyone. I feel less guilty now for being bothered by this. Seems the focal point here is the lying. Which unfortunately goes beyond just this incident. Trust/lying has been a problem since the beginning unfortunately. From lying about what doing/who with. Lying about who talking to, including another guy incident involving my best friend, which turned into her supposedly just trying to push me away. To lies about health and almost any random small thing you can think of just because. I'm just a very big pushover when it comes to giving the benefit of the doubt and second chances. My fiance cheated on me with the worst kind of girl. I, 25, and my fiance, 27, met in Vancouver. I was a successful voice actress and he was a soon-to-be lawyer. When we first met there was an instant connection and we decided to keep dating. As the days went by I moved in. This was my first time moving with someone in their home. I was a bit scared as I have never depended so much on a man before. It took me several years to get over my exes or even go on trips with them as I have had traumatic experiences, such as them abandoning me in random places. A couple months after I worked long hours 8H+ shifts. We decided Vancouver wasn't the place for us as everything was expensive and he was fired from work. So I had to support us with whatever I was making. Long story short, I was having many meltdowns because I was being harassed in my job, as well as my pay became less and less because there were more competitive girls and I wasn't feeling or doing my best. I was having arguments with my fiance. I would come home and clean the house, he would cook and I would do the laundry and try to keep our home neat. We talked about moving to Mexico where I am from, as cost of living was cheaper and I had bought my own place. We had many trips between Canada and Mexico as well as he had invited me to meet his sister and his mom to England. They were both very welcoming and loving. We had arguments here and there, but nothing too harsh or significant in my opinion. We traveled to Italy for my birthday in February. Everything was fine. We come back to sell our stuff in Vancouver, sofa, kitchen stuff, the bed, everything, and the arguments kept going as I didn't want to go back to my job. He knew I was being harassed. When we got ready to come down to Mexico a couple days passed. I checked his phone and he had invited a girl over to have sex. He sent her pictures and tried to convince her to come through. I was feeling enraged. I woke him up immediately and slapped him across the face. I was furious. My AirPods were missing that day and my Pandora ring as well. I called her and asked her to send me the full conversation. He had swore he never saw her and holds it to this day. When she texted me, both him and her were making fun of my appearance, saying that I'm not pretty and that I'm boring and bitter. They made comments about my body. During this time as well we were trying to conceive. I spoke to his mom and I told her I didn't want him in Mexico anymore and I didn't want to be with him as I was very heartbroken. His mom and my parents convinced me to stay, but I'm having so many doubts. He's tried to reassure me he will never do anything like that anymore, but I'm honestly having such a hard time. I feel unable to forgive him. I don't know what I should do. He wants to propose in July, but I don't feel like this is the man for me. Want suggestions to move on from this?
We hope you enjoyed this story. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in the next video. And before you go, please be sure to subscribe for more.